Some of Chicago's biggest rappers came up in the Parkway Garden Homes, aka O Block. Now it's one of the most infamous hoods in the country, but a lot of rap fans don't know about the man O Block is named after. So today, we're breaking down the tragic story of Odee Perry, a 20-year-old who was killed and became a legend in the streets of Chicago. O Block was built all the way back in the 50s and was a popular spot for black families. It wasn't always a hub for gang activity, but in the 80s, the neighborhood started getting more and more dangerous. At first, the Mickey Cobras and Gangsta Disciples ran the area, but in the 90s, the Black Disciples took over and started going by the name Wick City in the 2000s. Back in the day, the BDs and GDs didn't have any issues with each other. Lil Durk's dad was a GD who worked directly with the gang's founder, Larry Hoover, and he says that everything started because the BDs wanted more territory and wouldn't negotiate on it. Even after the BDs and GDs started having tension, the situation wasn't even as close to as violent as it is today. But that all started to change in 2011 when a 15-year-old from a GD set called STL-EBT was shot and killed at a bus stop. Tuka was a well-liked kid who repped STL-EBT and was tight with a lot of people in the neighborhood. One of his best friends was a girl named K.I., and Tuka's death had a major impact on her and the whole area. They named themselves Tukaville in honor of him, and his death is allegedly what led to the murder of Odee Perry. According to rumors, Tuka's murder was get back for the death of a BD named Edric Walker. It was never confirmed, but rumors say Odee was involved with Tuka's death. Odee was one of the most well-respected BDs from Wick City. Not much is known about his come-up, but everyone who knew him, since he was a savage, wasn't afraid of anybody. He was cool with all the big names from O Block like Chief Keef, Lil Reese, and Boss Top. And according to Lil Reese,
he was one of the ones from back then. Beating motherfuckers up. Everybody was scared of Odee.
8 months after Tuka was killed, Odee was riding his bike down the street just a few blocks away from Wick City. He was on the 400 block of East 64th Street when a car pulled up and started letting off shots. Odee was hit in the neck and unfortunately died from his injury. When Odee was killed, there wasn't even a war in Chicago going on like what came next. There was still beef and street drama, but sets weren't losing people left and right like they are today. Boss Top said,
Odee Perry.
That's my best friend.
Your best friend?
Yeah. Then she tell me like, Coach D, he got killed last night. I'm down. That was like my first death experience of friends. So it was like damn, you know?
He was locked up when he heard the news, and he revealed in an interview,
so it's like I'm in jail. He gotta watch me cry. Like I'm crying. Ain't no secret. I'm crying in front of these.
Odee died on Tuka's birthday. Rumors immediately started flying that STL-EBT was behind the hit. Nobody was ever booked for the shooting, but one of the main theories behind his death is that K.I. killed him as get back for Tuka. According to rumors, K.I. and FBG Butter slid on Tuka's birthday to get revenge. K.I. was only around 14 at the time, but she wasn't a stranger to violence. Her dad was murdered when she was just 1 year old, and later, she witnessed her older brother get killed too. She moved into GD territory around 63rd and St. Lawrence, and that's when she got tight with Tuka and other dudes from STL-EBT. Odee dying on Tuka's birthday made a lot of people think K.I. was involved, and Woosie actually shouted her and Butter out on Twitter for making O Block. Not everyone believed she was involved with Odee's death, but the rumors helped build her up into one of O Block's biggest ops. K.I. became known in the city for shooting at anyone she had a problem with, and she allegedly tried to kill a girl who was the cousin of a dude from O Block named T-Roy. Her and King Von started beefing on social media, but they would also flirt back and forth. K.I. lost more family to the streets when her 13-year-old cousin Taekwon was hit by a stray bullet and tragically died. Then she suffered another loss when her homie Lil B from STL-EBT was shot and killed by the police. After Lil B died, K.I. allegedly murdered Chief Keef's cousin, Blood Money, for revenge. Blood Money wasn't from O Block, but he repped another BD set called Front Street. When he died, rumors started flying that K.I. was a shooter, and the next day, she was shot and killed after dropping her location on Twitter. On April 11, 2014, K.I. and Butter was walking to Woosie's house with another homie when someone ran up on them and started letting off shots. Butter and their friends survived, but K.I. was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. Some people think K.I.'s murder proved she was involved with Odee's death, but if she was really as active in the streets as rumors say, then there was plenty of reasons the ops would want to take her out. Nobody was ever arrested for the shooting, but rumors were going around that King Von was the one who killed her. A few days after she died, dudes from O Block, like Lil Reese and Boss Top, shouted out Von on Twitter. And recently, paperwork came out that says Von was a prime suspect in the case before he was killed in 2020. Nobody really knows who killed Odee, but another theory is that a dude named MOB Scrap was the killer. Some people believe Scrap was with K.I. and Butter when they killed Odee, and just a month before he died, Scrap tweeted, O Block, we made O Block, the mother is lying, no bullshit. Another reason some people think Scrap is behind Odee's murder is because of his brother Ruger's verse on FBG Duck's Exposing Me remix. On the track, he said, got some information that you would hate to know. Talk that shit, they don't even know who made the O. Drop a bag on your head. My shooters get paid to blow. When Odee died, it sparked a deadly war between the BDs and GDs that's still going on today. In 2012, Lil Durk dropped the track L's Anthem and took the beef to a new level. On the track, he called out the GDs and said, "Brick Squad, I say f*** 'em. We'll go roll with 'em, so it's f*** 'em." The track blew up and put the beef in the spotlight, and a dude from Brick Squad named Lil Jojo clapped back with the track 300K BDK. Jojo was actually cool with Lil Reese and Durk because they knew each other from back in the day, but by that point, the tension between the GDs and BDs was too high for him to back down. On his track, Jojo called out the BDs and Durk and said, "Durk say f*** Brick Squad, so I can't wait to catch him." Squeezes f***ing 40, now they got him on the stretcher. Jojo sent more diss tracks at the BDs, but then a few months later, he was shot and killed after letting the ops know where he was at. Over the next few years, both sides sent shots on tracks and in the streets too. FBG Duck's brother and cousin got killed on the same day, but it didn't stop him from taking more shots at Odee and other BDs. On the Exposing Me remix, Duck said he got caught in traffic, Waldo ain't get to finish his status. He on the internet laughing, capping, they got caught without it. F*** your homie, he dead. You heard what I said. F*** Sharoid, Odee, D-Thing, and F*** Tirehead. In 2020, Duck dropped the track Dead Bitches and rap, "Made Chicago legends, shit, that was just about business. Said I wasn't gonna diss the dead, and okay, I did it. But T-Roy and Odee, them dead bitches." Just a few months later, Duck was shot and killed while he was out shopping in the Gold Coast neighborhood of Chicago. He was one of O Block's biggest ops, and rumors immediately started flying that they were behind the murder. Last year, 5 dudes from O Block were hit with a RICO charge over Duck's death. C-Thing, C-Murder, Muwap, Los, and Zell Money were all named, but Zell had taken his own life a few months earlier. We'll probably never have a solid answer about who really killed Odee Perry, but whoever's responsible helped set off a deadly wave of violence in Chicago. The BDs and GDs weren't cool before he died, but now both sides have lost so many people that there's almost no chance that the killing will stop. Odee was another young dude who just got caught up in the streets and had to adapt to his environment. And unfortunately, it all caught up to him when he was only 20 years old. And while some BDs and GDs have made it out of the trenches through music, way more have lost their lives to this deadly war. Rest in peace to Odee Perry and everyone else who didn't make it out.